health regulators in the US have approved the first prescription drug made from cannabis. Now, that decision could spur a lot more research, proper research, into a drug that remains illegal and unavailable, really, under federal law. The Food and Drug Administration approved the medication. It's made by GW Pharmaceuticals to treat two fairly rare forms of childhood epilepsy. Now, the strawberry-flavored syrup is a purified form of a chemical that's often found in cannabis, but it's not the one that gets you high. It's not yet clear, though, why this ingredient, it's not a CBD, does reduce seizures in some cases. Now, the legalization and decriminalization, because you have to look at it from those perspectives of cannabis, is an ongoing issue. Let's take a look now at some countries which are looking at this particular matter. One of them is the United Kingdom. Richard Bestick joins us now live from London with more on this story. Richard, when it comes to cannabis, there's a difference there between decriminalization and legalization, both for recreational and medicinal uses. Walk us through the differences between these two.
Rama, firstly, there certainly is a difference, but in Britain it's a little bit on the academic side, because all forms of cannabis here, whether for recreational use or medicinal purposes, are illegal. To produce it, possess it, use it for supply it will give you is a criminal act and will give you a criminal record. Should it be decriminalised officially, and a lot of Britain's constabularies already turn a blind eye, it would likely be for personal use, the idea being you wouldn't get a criminal record if you were caught with a small amount. If it were legalised in the Canadian sense, it would mean the government would tax it, monitor the quality and have it sold through licensed outlets. It's all a little confusing. Further clouded here, Rama, by the fact that according to the UN's International Narcotics Control Board, the UK is the world's largest producer and exporter of cannabis for medical and scientific use, according to a report from the UN body published in March. You just can't use it in this country, Rama.
Indeed, so quite a bit of irony in there. But as Home Secretary, Theresa May took a fairly hard line against drugs. How is it now that as Prime Minister, a review into the medical uses of this very same commodity is taking place? How did we get here?
Well, it was the case of 12-year-old Billy Caldwell that reignited the debate. Billy's mum, Charlotte, openly smuggled 7 40ml bottles of medicinal cannabis through Heathrow Airport to make a point. When customs officers confiscated them, it took the intervention of Home Secretary Sajid Javid to get the medicine returned to her. Apparently, this cannabis-based medicine is the only treatment that stops Billy having daily life-threatening epileptic fits. That his medicine should have been confiscated and that Billy needed hospital treatment as a consequence triggered a national outcry, and Javid ordered a review of the medicinal status of cannabis. That medicinal cannabis should be legalised would be in line with the public view, according to opinion polls. But a warning here from Javid: it was not, he said, not a first step to legalising the drug for recreational use.
Indeed, and really you've just led right into my next question. So given that statement from the Home Secretary, would I be correct to infer that decriminalisation of cannabis, specifically for medical use, is a possible outcome of this review?
Possibly for medicinal use, but that's not to say it would allow or lead on to recreational use. Not to say that there aren't some pretty heavyweight advocates making that case. William Hague, a member of the upper chamber of the British Parliament, the House of Lords, and a former leader of Theresa May's own political party, says it's time to end the so-called war on cannabis. It was lost a long time ago, he says. The current laws are inappropriate, ineffective and out of date, according to Hague. Mike Barton, the Chief Constable of Durham Police, is another to call for the end of prohibition of cannabis. Martin argues it damages public safety, puts users in more danger, and gives millions of pounds to organised crimes. Does that mean that the UK is anywhere nearer legalising or even, as you were saying, Rama, decriminalising cannabis? Probably not. The views of those opposed to the drug, including many in Britain's Fleet Street press, are currently holding sway. And as you say, Theresa May is no fan of it. This debate's got a long way to go, Rama, but decriminalising or even legalising medicinal cannabis now looks perhaps a step nearer.
Indeed. One last question for you, Richard. Quite a few states have moved in this particular direction. Some states in the US, Portugal, Uruguay, Switzerland, right across the Channel, the Netherlands, they've all decriminalised or legalised to some extent cannabis use. Canada's legislators also moving in that direction to legalise matters. Will the UK be looking into these countries' experiences to inform that review of potential medical use of cannabis?
Yeah, the government says it will. The government wants to know, are there really medicinal benefits from cannabis, or is it snake oil? The review undertaken by the Home Office itself is a significant U-turn, as its announcement came some 24 hours after the Prime Minister, Theresa May, reportedly stopped the Home Secretary even raising the subject in Cabinet. But, you know, Rama, this debate's been going on for many thousands of years, and here in the UK at least it doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. Just one further point though, remember Billy Caldwell, he's got just 20 days before his supply of medicine runs out. Now that will certainly help focus minds in government. Rama.
Indeed, we'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much for the update. That's Richard Bestick there live in London. We'll keep you updated on this particular debate around the world, really, wherever it is, right here on the programme.